Good evening and welcome to the regular board meeting, Tuesday, February 19th, 2013. The time is 7:09. Item number 1, call to order, roll call, establish quorum. We do have a quorum. Item number 2, pledge of allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags, and item number 3, invocation. This evening we do have 2 students from La Encantada Elementary, and they are being accompanied by their principal, Ms. Martinez. We have Cassandra Luna. Cassandra Luna is a 5th grade student at La Encantada Elementary. She's 11 years old. Her favorite subjects are reading and social studies. Cassandra's hobbies are reading, drawing, and playing football with her brother and cousin. One of Cassandra's favorite pastimes is reading. She's currently the top AR student for her grade level and in the top 2 school-wide. Cassandra is also a member of La Encantada Book Club. Her accomplishments include perfect attendance since 1st grade, all A honor roll, commended performance recognition for state assessments, and academic achievement awards her previous school years. Cassandra would like to be a movie producer and an author when she grows up. Cassandra's parents are Luis Luna Jr. and Nora Luna. Also joining us this evening, we have Jana Richmond. Jana Richmond is a 1st grade student at La Encantada Elementary. Jana is 6 years old. She's an outgoing 1st grader with significant accomplishments. She has made the All-A Honor Roll every 6 weeks this year and has received the Citizenship Award and Academic Achievement Award in prior years. One of Jana's favorite pastimes is reading, and on Saturday mornings, she often reads 10 books by 8 a.m. Jana is currently the top AR student for her grade level and in the top 3 school-wide. Jana also enjoys dancing. She's currently a member of La Encantada Drill Team, and in her spare time, she also takes ballet, jazz, tap, and hip-hop dance lessons. Her other hobbies include hunting, fishing, hiking, and rock collecting. She plans to become a veterinarian or maybe even the first woman president of the United States. She was elected class president in kindergarten, and Jana is a daughter of Jimmy and Anna Richmond. She has 2 older brothers whom she loves very much. And I'd like to ask if everyone will please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing for the invocation.
Will you bow your head while I pray? Dear Lord, thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for the abundant blessings you give us. Thank you for life itself, for health, family, and for our friends. Thank you for letting us shine your light in the darkest places. Today we are here to ask that you would bless everyone at this meeting and in this school district. We ask that you give the school board members and superintendent your wisdom to make good decisions. Give them your eyes to see the true needs of all the students of San Benito. Lead them by your spirit to do what is good for the people who work in our schools. But most of all, help them do what is right for the children. In your most blessed name we pray. Amen.
At this time, I'd like to ask that the parents please remain standing so that you can be recognized as well. And also, thank you to the principal for inviting these 2 students to join us this evening. Moving on to item number 4, Superintendent's Report. Mr. Limon.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, we have the continuation of our showcase presentations. This time, we will be privileged to hear from La Paloma Elementary and from Riverside Middle School. First of all, it will be La Paloma Elementary Principal Libby Flores. If you come forward with your presentation, please.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. When we first got the project, we were kind of thrown for a loop, but it has been a great exercise, and everybody got involved. I would like to thank Janie Lopez for her counseling input, and Luis Gonzalez, parent involvement. Our video is on community because it's very important, especially in our area. We're highly dependent on everyone there. I would also like to thank Celia and all the teachers and Michael Salinas, who came up with a song for it. And it was a very collaborative effort, so I hope you enjoy it.
La Paloma Elementary. We are diversity. Beginning with our Building Bridges migrant program to our ESL classes, we believe in community. Please join us on this journey as we share the many faces of La Paloma. The Building Bridges program is open to 3-year-old students who are children of migrant workers. The children are taught their basics such as numbers, colors, and letters, integrating both English and Spanish.
Esta letra, la O. ¿Me pueden tratar de escribir la O? Nada más una O.
Yo la hice uno.
Qué bonita O hicieron, wow. Qué bonita O. No la esborren todavía porque las quiero ver todas. Muy bien.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Telling a story in the student's native language allows them to understand and comprehend the story. Mr. Jose Sanchez involves the children in retelling the story as he breaks it down in detail.
Un túnel, ya lo hemos dicho, ¿verdad? ¿Qué es el túnel? Digamos que esta es una montaña, ¿verdad? ¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Y por dentro de la montaña, ¿qué va a pasar?
Se puede atorar.
No, ¿qué es lo que pasa ahí?
Hay tracas.
Yo no sé dibujar, pero yo voy a hacer un
Esfuerzo.
In science, our second graders were learning about weather. They had the opportunity to create wind songs. Mrs. Gracie Garcia and Mrs. Erica Hernandez allowed their students to go outside and test their wind songs.
Erica, be patient. Which way is the wind coming from? That way. Wind song, correct. We measure the wind and know where it's what? Excellent.
One of our many pride and joys here at La Paloma is our PBCD and ACU classrooms. This year, we were very fortunate to be given the gift of iPads for each one of our students. Through different applications, the teachers interact with the students, teaching them letters, colors, and words.
Good job. C.
Try that one. Yay! All right, what's the next one? Listen.
W.
W.
A great opportunity we have here on our campus is our Parent Education ESL classes. Parents from different country schools come in twice a week and engage in their English speaking skills.
Every day.
Not only do the parents benefit, but so do our children.
Why did she move? On Saturday, I went to a party. On Saturday, I went to a party. Went es el verbo del tiempo pasado. Go es el presente.
Yesterday was to the English class.
Okay. Yesterday, Yesterday, I went to English class, or to the English class.
Teaching children at a young age about different emotions creates self-awareness. Our counselor, Ms. Noemi Martinez, begins teaching different feelings and the reasons the students are experiencing them. In first and second grade, they begin to apply what they learn in counseling to their everyday education.
This is the way we all learn. First we focus, get your attention to the eyes and ears and brain. Now we listen, get you listen to the eyes and ears and brain. You yourself talk back, I can do it.
In the upper grade levels, the children begin to focus more on empathy, steps to calming down anger, and how to solve solutions in a non-aggressive way.
So breathe in. Say the problem, no, nothing else than the same. Explore our life, feel the happiness. Make the solution, make the plan. You got this.
My name is Isabel Gomez, and I am the K-Kids Advisor at La Paloma Elementary. Everyone is familiar with Kawana's organization, which is an adult organization. But did you know that K-Kids is the elementary Kawana's organization?
K-Kids Pledge. As a K-Kid, I promise to serve my neighborhood and my school. And I will show respect toward my environment, and I will make the world a better place in which to live. As K-Kids, we have a motto. Our motto is We Build. Character building. The ability to do the right thing even when it might be an unpopular choice. Leadership. The ability to listen, communicate, and serve and guide others. Inclusiveness. Accepting and welcoming differences in other people. Caring. The act of being concerned about or interested in other people or situations.
We are K-Kids.
Building good character is something we strive for. Every morning after the pledge, students recite the Kids for Character pledge. It's a daily reminder that being a person of character makes for a better community.
I pledge to be a kid for character. I will be worthy of trust. I will be respectful, responsible, doing what I must. I will always act with fairness. I will show that I care. I will be a good citizen and always do my share.
We hope you enjoy the journey.
La 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 la. Where the sunshine on the mountain and the night is summer around. It's a new day, it's a new way.
Thank you very much, Ms. Flores, and staff and students from La Paloma Elementary. This time I'll ask for Mr. Joel Wood to come forward, principal of Riverside Middle School.
Members of the board, Mr. Limon, San Benito community, good evening. It's an honor and privilege to be the one and only principal at Riverside Middle School since doors opened 7 years ago. I truly love being at that school more than you can imagine. I've always said to Mr. Limon and others, the best kept secret in San Benito, Texas. If you haven't been there, you've missed something. I do hope you enjoy our video tonight.
In 2006, Riverside Middle School opened its doors. It has established itself as a school whose primary focus is on student academic achievement. Riverside continues to focus on student-centered instruction while offering its students a safe environment conducive to learning. Data-driven instructional decisions are producing optimal academic outcomes. Since opening its doors, Riverside has led middle schools in overall math performance on the Mathematics State Accountability Exam. 7th and 8th grade has led district middle schools in all math scores since opening. 8th grade math 2012 STAR raw scores exceeded the state average of 31 with a score of 33. 82% of our students met the satisfactory level on the test. In 2012, 8th grade science students met the state average raw score of 34, the only middle school to do so. Riverside implemented the C-Scope curriculum and assessments exclusively in 2011 and 12. This year, 8th grade C-Scope assessment scores have increased an average of 18 points. In 2011 and 12, 8th grade science ELLs averaged 38% passing on all C-Scope assessments. Since implementing PSYOP strategies, 8th grade science ELL passing rates have improved 24% on C-Scope assessments. According to the AEIS Group Comparison Report, Riverside reading and math scores have been in the top quartile every year since opening. PSYOP, or Sheltered Instructional Observational Protocol, are research-based strategies that address the instructional needs of ELLs. Specifically, teachers are well trained in building background knowledge to introduce new concepts and promote student interaction to address the ELPS, or English Language Proficiency Standards. To support this initiative, campus professional learning communities have been created. Teachers, along with administrators, meet 4 days a week by content area to disaggregate data, plan instruction, and share in professional development. Let's watch Miss Marissa Salcedo.
Thing, an idea, a thing, a person. Okay? Never.
The students here are participating in a carousel gallery walk. Ms. Salcedo uses student responses to formally assess understanding, while allowing her students to interact through a multisensory kinesthetic activity.
Thank you.
Through SIOP and daily professional learning communities, teachers are reaching students and helping them to grow and learn. With the support of administration and an excellent staff, students are demonstrating educational growth on a daily basis. This is Miss Jennifer Vela, using a best practice called a graffiti write. Its objective is to build background knowledge on the relationship between the Earth, Moon, and Sun.
Good morning. Are you doing the graffiti write? Yes, and what is it exactly that you do with the graffiti write? Could you explain that to us, please?
Well, we have to write down what we know about the seasons of the earth.
Seasons of the Earth, okay.
And describe different things that compare to the seasons.
Okay, so you're going to write down seasons of the Earth, and then you've got 4 quadrants, and you're going to write in each quadrant something as it pertains to the changing seasons. Am I correct?
Yes.
And science.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Eighth grade social studies students are actively learning about historical past and comparing said past to current day issues.
Can you please discuss with me what you're doing today? Anyone here at this table? I see that you're looking at the changes that took place in society and politics during the 1820s.
Yes, we're reading about the Democratic Party.
You're reading about the Democratic parties? Okay, and what else?
The different Democrat and Republican.
You read that back in the 1820s. It's okay. What is it, gentlemen, that you're studying today?
Political parties.
Political parties? And which party are you studying, sir?
The Democratic.
Democratic. Can you give me, compare and contrast that to the Republican Party, or have you not approached that yet?
No, we haven't done that.
You haven't approached it.
Just like
Okay.
nowadays, we know that Democrats.
I'm sorry, what?
Nowadays, we know that Democrats. Some of the one party goes for is in favor of abortions, and the other party is not in favor of abortions.
Right. One party is in favor of abortions, the other party is not. Very good. Thank you, sir. What are you studying today?
The political parties of the suffrage.
The political parties of, what did you say, the suffrage?
Yes.
And what was it that they were suffering during that time?
Well, it's like the movement of how all the men got the right to vote.
And all the women were not permitted to vote, right?
Not then.
Not then. How would you feel about that today?
I would be mad.
You'd be mad, huh? How'd you feel about that if you weren't permitted to vote today?
I'd be mad.
You'd be mad? Do you think that today is a better time in which to live than it was back then?
Yes.
When women were subservient?
Yes.
Okay, good.
You might notice that many classrooms have varied grouping arrangements. This is to promote student interaction, a key component to the SIOP model. Let's watch our campus Teacher of the Year, Ms. Terry Garcia, interact with her students.
We're looking for the length that has 12 feet and our width has 10 feet. Now, how do I would know what we're looking for to find perimeter? If I want to go ahead and define perimeter.
This is Mr. Eleuterio Martinez. He routinely adds a multi-sensory approach to his instruction, specifically adding music to enhance discovery learning. Riverside offers many activities that promote college and career readiness.
My name is Maria Puentes. I will be a veterinarian and I will attend Harvard.
Hello, my name is Listea Lemus and I will be choreographer and I will attend to UCLA in Los Angeles, California.
What's that you say? And say that louder!
My name is Kayla Garcia. I will be a speech therapist and I will attend UTB University.
Hello, my name is Calle Garcia, and we will be Marine Corps.
I will attend California State University.
And I will attend Ohio State.
My name is Paulina Abrego. I will be an FBI agent and I will go to Brigham Young University in Utah.
Hello, my name is Mariana Sanchez. I will study kinesiology and be a coach at Ohio State University.
My name is Alexandria Sanchez and I will be a doctor and I will go to the University of UT Austin.
Hello, my name is Noe. I will be a professional athlete and go to the University of Oregon.
Another area of emphasis at Riverside Middle School is the development of the whole student. Through extracurricular programs, students are afforded opportunities to develop social skills, promote positive self-esteem, and acquire skills to become contributing members of their community.
One, two, one.
Our LOTC students develop leadership skills, self-discipline, and social skills such as etiquette and courtesy. Riverside is certainly proud of Miss Luisa Chapa and all of the LOTC students and the example they set for our student body. While academic success is at the forefront of our efforts, Riverside is a fun place to learn and develop as an early teenager. Activities that promote camaraderie, school spirit, and a sense of belonging will continue to be an integral part of the Riverside climate. All faculty and staff work together in collegial fashion to ensure the campus is run efficiently and effectively, always keeping student well-being as its focus. You are always welcome at Riverside Middle School. We will continue to strive to be innovative in our instruction. We will continue to keep student learning as our primary focus, and the entire Riverside Middle School community will continue to work tirelessly to make our school the best it can be. Riverside is a great place to learn.
On behalf of the fine students, faculty, and staff at Riverside Middle School, I'd like to invite you to come out and see us sometime. You won't be disappointed. We have a mentality at Riverside Middle School. Riverside Middle School, the premier middle school.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wood and Riverside Middle School. Just a reminder that next month, good Lord willing, we have Fred Booth Elementary coming up with their showcase, as well as Gateway Academy to graduation. So we can look forward to them the coming month. We have disbursements by organization. That concludes the superintendent's report. Would answer any questions that any board members may have. Change of plans. We were going to show another showcase, but it's 30 minutes long, so we decided not to do it.
Okay. Being that there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and move on to item number 5. Roll call. Please respond with present. Ms. Ileana G. Rodriguez, President Trustee. Present. Ms. Ana Cruz, Vice President Trustee.
Present.
Ms. June Aguilera, Secretary Trustee.
Present.
Ms. Fatima Huerta, trustee. Mr. Julian Huerta, trustee. Mr. Hector G. Leal, trustee. Mr. Oscar Medrano, trustee. Mr. Antonio G. Limon, superintendent of schools. Mr. Kevin O'Hanlon, school attorney. Item number 6, recommend approving the agenda of the regular board meeting of February 19, 2013 with any corrections and/or deletions.
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Aguilera, seconded by Mr. Huerta. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, public comment. During public comment, the undersigned wishes to address the San Benito CISD Board of Trustees, and by his or her signature shows into the board that he or she understands the following provisions to addressing the board. The person wishing to address the Board of Trustees must register with the presiding officer or designee no later than 5 minutes before the announced time of the school board meeting, shall state their full name, state what organization or group, if any, is being represented, state the topic they wish to address before the school board, and refrain from commenting directly on any individual school district employee or public official by name, but may instead refer to a specific employment area, job title, or the Board of Trustees as a whole, and shall refrain from attacks on individuals. The persons wishing to address the Board of Trustees should do so in accordance with the following San Benito CISD Board Policy BED, Board Meetings Public Participation Guidelines. Speaker will be allowed only 5 minutes to give his or her presentation. Delegations of more than 5 persons shall appoint 1 person to present their views before the Board of Trustees. Presentations shall be informative and shall pertain to school-related issues. Any attack on an individual shall be considered disruption of the meeting. The Board of Trustees shall not deliberate nor decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. And this evening, we do have 2 individuals in the audience who wish to participate, and I'm going to go ahead and call on Rosalinda G. Garcia. Her topic is agenda.
Good evening. That was an awesome presentation. The children are beautiful and educators are awesome, a calling I never had. Good evening, members of the school board. I come here in behalf of another person who feels he or she will be retaliated against for speaking. I have a few points to bring to your attention. Let me begin by stating that the city of San Benito has ears. My friends and I want all board members to know that the strong supporters for the board member that is recovering at home from an illness represents our values and priorities. Please be aware that your inner circle of friends have been talking. Any attempt to try to remove our outstanding board member will not be tolerated by his supporters and friends. We continue to pray for his recovery. Also, it has been noted that the insurance carrier is on the agenda again. Did this board not learn from the last insurance fiasco from May 2012? We haven't forgotten what the Texas Education Agency told this board. It was published in all the Valley newspapers. Some of you might need to reread that insurance violation that was brought to your attention by TEA. On tonight's agenda, there is to be discussion regarding the individual that oversees the finances in the district. Why? She reports directly to the superintendent and not the Board of Trustees. Maybe y'all need Mr. McShann to come do another board responsibilities training. Then there is the item on hiring a budget consultant. Why? How much more money are you going to spend from the students and staff accounts of this district? You have already dipped into the fund balance. My friends and I are very aware of the motives behind the upcoming actions. Some of them will begin tonight. We want you to know that each and every one of you answers to the public. To think that you don't is a huge mistake on your part. Just read the local newspaper. It will tell you the same thing. We expect our voices to be heard. Last thing, please, board member, You know who you are. When addressing our superintendent, you don't do it by addressing him as him. Your question last week to the attorney was, we need to call him? He has a name, Mr. Limon. We, like every one of you, deserve that respect. Thank you.
We have another member of the audience who would like to address the board. I'd like to call on Jesus Aguilera, topic school district.
You're absolutely correct, ma'am. So maybe next time they'll call you Miss Aguilera instead of mija or mijita, eh? Just saying. All right. I came here tonight with a lot of things in my mind, but I'm going to start with this. Ms. Landrum, great job on that fiasco that you had at your campus when that lights went out. You took care of the food, the water, everything. Ms. Rion, great job. Okay, so, you know, our kids had what they needed. You took care of them. Next one, where's Libby? Ms. Flores over there. Ms. Monsiváis. You know, Libby has my daughter at her school. Ms. Monsiváis has my grandson. They both pull out some paperwork, unbelievable. They could tell me what she was reading at what level, what grade, what everything. You know what? It's us, the parents, that need to help our children because you guys are doing a great job. Your campus, Ms. Monsiváis, outstanding. You walk into that campus, beautiful campus. The gazebo, it's all in my mind. Very good job. I think all of us need to do that at all our schools. Ms. Monsiváis looks great. Now I'm going to get to some of the stuff that needs to be addressed. First of all, I can assure you that nobody wants to get Mr. Medrano out. It's a little rumor that got out, but nobody's going to take him out. There's no need to. Okay. Second, you know, everybody calls me and says, how do you feel about Mr. Medrano's sickness, Chuy? Well, let me answer that with my own question. How do you feel that I have cancer? Same question. Both of us are sick in our own separate ways, so take it for whatever it is. You know what? I hope for speedy recovery. He's a good adversary. So, that being said, I had a person. Let me tell you what's the difference between a Kiwanis member and a soldier. Let me give you the answer that I was given. The Kiwanis person does it as a volunteer. The soldier gets paid for his services. That's the difference. Okay? Another person went as far as to go to your school, Ms. President, or your district, and ask for all your emails. That's just wrong. Very wrong. You know, for somebody to take the trouble to go all the way and ask for your emails. Just not right. You know, it's sad to see that people think that we want him out. Nah, nobody wants him out. You know, today I got a call that I want people fired. You know what? I hold everybody accountable, period. I have some people here that I don't think very much of, you know, but I'm not gonna sit here and ask them to get fired because you know what? All of us need a job. Okay, so that's at least in my mind ever. You know, you guys have a job to do. Mr. Leal, you've been here for a long time. Okay, we paid a lawyer $15,000 a month and $5,000 a month to special ed. That was $20,000 a month. Okay, the special board meeting that was held here on Tuesday, You also made a comment, hey, you already know who you got in mind. You know what? Nah. I'm gonna tell you what, guys. If any of you, at any time, I know who's gonna be hired, it's wrong. Because I'm here to tell you, Dr. Atkinson is not coming here. That's a rumor. All right? I don't even know who the next superintendent is gonna be. I don't know who the next principal is gonna be. Nobody should know. Because they gotta turn in the applications, then they get reviewed, then you hire somebody. If anybody already know who's gonna get hired, it's wrong. All right, because you know what? Like I said, I think the world of all of you educators, you're doing a great job. I saw it. And if you parents take the time, go see your principals or your counselors, they have it there for you. Thank you. I saw that.
Thank you. That concludes with item number 7. In order to promote efficient meetings, the board may act upon more than one item by a single vote through the use of consent agenda. Consent items placed on the agenda shall be marked with an asterisk. Consent items are items for which no board discussion is anticipated and for which the superintendent recommends approval. Prior to the time which approval of consent agenda is had, at the request of any member of the Board of Trustees, any item on the consent agenda shall be removed and given individual consideration. Which brings us into item number 8, action agenda. Under business and finance, we have item 1302A-1, request for approval of resolution supporting the University of Texas Board of Regents' efforts to establish a valley-wide emerging research facility and medical school. Consent. Item 1302A-2, request for approval of resolution opposing vouchers, taxpayer savings grants, tax credits, and other mechanisms that reduce public education funding. Consent. Item 1302A-3, request for approval to authorize administration to request bid proposals for the bank depository contract. Consent. Item 1302A-4, request for approval to amend contract of the on-site clinic to provide additional services. Question by Mr. Leal. Item 1302A-5, request for approval to authorize the administration to procure security access systems for all elementary schools. Consent. Item 1302A-6, request for approval to approve budget amendment to fund the purchase of band instruments to the 3 middle schools. Consent. Item 1302A-7, discussion and/or possible action on procuring the services of budget consultants. Question by Mr. Leal. Item 1302A-8, request for approval for authorization to request proposals for managed care plan. Consent. Item 1302A-9, discussion and/or possible action concerning retention of insurance agent for IRS Section 125, District Employee Cafeteria Plan, and possible request for qualifications regarding insurance agent services for these products. Question by Mr. Leal. Item 1302A-10, discussion and/or possible action concerning retention of insurance agent for district employee insurance plan and possible request for qualifications regarding insurance agent services for this coverage.
Question.
Question by Ms. Aguilera and Mr. Leal. Item 1302A-11, request for approval of 2011-2012 annual financial and compliance report. Consent. Item 1302A-12, request for approval of 2012-2013 budget amendments. Consent. Item 1302A-13, request for approval of budget transfers. Consent. Under administration, item 1302A-14, request for approval of board minutes. Consent. Item 1302A-15, request for approval to approve Board Policy Update 95. Consent. Item 1302A-16, request for approval to update Board Policy EIC Local. Consent. 1302A-17, discussion and/or possible action to amend District Policy CH Local. Question. I'd like to request for a motion to approve items 1302A-1, 1302A-2, 1302A-3, 1302A-5, 1302A-6, 1302A-8, 1302A-11, 1302A-12, 1302A-13, 1302A-14, 1302A-15, and 1302A-16. Motion made by Mr. Leal, seconded by Ms. Aguilera. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Going back to those items in question, we'll begin under Business and Finance. We had a question for item 1302A-4, request for approval to approve to amend contract of the on-site clinic to provide additional services.
Yes, Madam President, I have a question on this item. I know in our January meeting, we had a concern on some of the extra fees, should I call, on, I guess, the added services that were added to the clinic. Maybe Mr. Limon, can you kind of explain, is this going to be every quarter that we're going to check the clinic and make adjustments, or is it going to be a one-time increase?
Don't they give us, like, it's, well, from my understanding, there was gonna be a change that was gonna happen, and they're supposed to provide quarterly reports to the board to let us know what's going on, but it's gonna be completely changed. At the last meeting, we talked about it.
Okay, is it going to?
I think your question is it going to fluctuate, right?
Right, as far as the extra fees, yeah.
No, sir, Mr. Leal, it is, once this is amended, that will be a fixed fee. The question here is that there were additional services being rendered from extra people that were hired in the front office to make things go faster. Also, they added an additional physician or a PA, which resulted in extra cost. I think Mr. Garza is currently out of state, but Mr. Hilliard can answer any questions that we may have on that, I believe.
Is Ms. Gonzalez here? Pardon me? Ms. Gonzalez also, maybe, Janie?
Jane?
Are we pretty set as far as the clinic, as far as operating the clinic to this fee?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's not gonna be something
Because
jumping.
I understood in the January meeting that there was a problem as far as the additional services requested by, I guess, administration, and that's what made the difference as far as the fees.
That's correct. So
Okay.
what we're doing is just bringing it up to the services, what the district wants to do, and that it's always gonna vary a little bit just because of the supplies and stuff, but you're not gonna see like another request like this in 3 months or 2 months or whatever.
Okay.
That was your question,
Yes,
correct?
yes, sir.
So
No, that's
you're not
fine.
gonna see that, no, you're not.
Okay, so are we pretty set as far as the operation of the clinic?
Yes.
As far as we're happy with what we've seen?
Very
the
happy.
Performance?
Very happy.
Okay.
It has been reported to you, right, Jenny, that our staff and, are very happy with the clinic and the new staff, the increased staff that happened because they're being in and out.
Yes, as of today, what we're doing is we used to see up to 23, 22 patients a day. Right now, we're seeing 44, 45 patients a day. It's been really extremely busy. That's why we really need two providers on a daily basis. We need 2 people up front. We need 2 receptionists up front for the customer service. And we need to have 2 providers on a daily basis to be able to get them in and out. Now, with the approval of the managed care plan, with your first question where you said, will this change? It might change with this managed care plan. Therefore, I'm not going to say it's not going to change because we might change if we do approve that managed care plan.
The reason I was asking the question was at the beginning, when the new person, the new company came in to manage the clinic, they gave us a certain price.
Mm-hmm.
I think he came back and asked you, and I guess Mr. Miller, if there was anything that you saw that we needed to change, and that's when the change went out and the price went up.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, the waiting time was 2 to 3 hours per, the employees were waiting 2 or 3 hours and they were complaining. We were getting various complaints from everyone. So he decided to bring in 2 providers. Well, once we got the 2 providers in and we got two receptionists in, they started coming in and out. You know, the people were being seen, everybody was happy, we didn't have any complaints. So that started going pretty easy. It was really working out really good, and it has been working out really well. Now, like I said, once we do approve the managed care plan, I would say probably right now, we're probably seeing maybe 75% of the employees. Once we get the managed care plan, which is probably going to we're trying to lure in the employees to go to the clinic, we might be getting maybe 90% employees to the clinic, and that's really what we're trying to do, to bring in to lower our costs for our medical costs. And if we do that, we might have to bring in another provider, bring in more staff, and that's why I'm not going to promise you that this might not change once we do come in with a managed care, which of course is in the future. That's not going to come in effect till October of 2013, if that's the case.
But this change ultimately does change it as far as all of our employees having somewhere to go. It helps them and it also helps their pocket because.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know that you have expressed also in the past that we only use San Benito pharmacies.
Yes, we're only using our 3 local pharmacies for the dispensing of the prescriptions, which is Medicine Shop, Fry's, and Salinas.
Because everything that this new the clinic and all the medications and everything that's been happening that they've been seeing in and out, I know that I've heard a lot of employees, even at the finance meeting that we had and we talked about it, employees that we had there make comments that this is the best that they've ever had, and the fact that we're keeping it local and we're keeping our business surviving here instead of going out to Walmart and going out to all the CVS and all those things. We're keeping it local. We're not only helping our employees keep their money, but
We're recycling our money is what we're doing.
and we're also helping our city keep going.
Right.
For surviving. So I think that if our employees are happy with it and they want it, then I think that's the reason that it should be accepted, because our employees are the ones that are, they're the ones that like it, and ultimately it's for them.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, the services we need, and, we want to get the best for our employees. I just wondered, because I know we had a concern of change of prices as far as the original contract and
But
the
if it
change.
does change, we will be notified.
Oh, absolutely,
So-
yes.
Well, you're gonna, excuse me, when we do get to that point, we're gonna give you a projection of what it's gonna be ahead of time, for sure.
But you're looking for next year, not this year?
Absolutely, absolutely.
No problem. You answered my questions. Thank you.
Okay.
I move that we accept request of approval to amend contract on-site clinic to provide additional services.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to approve item 1302A-4 by Mr. Leal, seconded by Ms. Aguilera. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Which takes us into item number 1302A-7, discussion and/or possible action on procuring the services of a budget consultant.
My question on this item was this requested by administration or by board members?
It's my understanding that our last finance committee meeting, we all agreed that a budget consultant be hired, but that Mr. Limon be the person to decide who we were going to bring in as a budget consultant, and in the basis whether he really needed this person.
I know Ms. McCall has been preparing our budget for the past, I don't know how many years.
Right.
Do you feel that we need a person to come in and, Ms. McCall? Spend an additional?
The legislature is meeting this summer, and I know in the past when we've had questions, I have called Mr. Moak because he works with the legislature, and I know he's turned in a proposal, and he's very knowledgeable about school finance. He used to work with TVA, and he also, works with the legislature, so he knows all the current updates, which would be a big plus. But we also are a member of the Equity Center, so I've called him in the past, but if
Yes, Mrs. Rodriguez asked me to meet with them, and I did meet with them. I met Mr. Reina and Mr. Garza. We did, they're auditors. We talked about, the services that they could provide, so I did meet with them. I also have met with Mo Casey, or with Mr. Moak, and I've also met with Lorenzo Sanchez. So I've met with all three of them that have turned in proposals.
I know, I did speak to Mr. O'Hanlon regarding the Finance Committee decision that we had made. At that time, we were going to allow Mr. Limon to go ahead and make a decision as far as who he was going to designate as a budget consultant, but being that the board is the one responsible for the budget, I did speak to Mr. O'Hanlon, and I requested and suggested that we be the ones that decide, who the budget consultant's going to be, because ultimately it's the board that needs to, work with the budget and balance the budget. So Mr. O'Hanlon did approve of that, and he said that that is something that the board can designate. Is that correct?
Should the board choose to engage a consultant to advise with respect to the budget process? Yes, you have the right to do so.
I have a question on that. I believe that maybe Mr. Limon should recommend somebody to us. I really feel strongly, because they're the ones that are dealing with the everyday budget preparation. I mean, I feel more comfortable with them telling us these are the persons that we have interviewed.
Well, he said he just did 3.
Okay.
He's already interviewed 3.
Okay.
But is it going to be up to him to decide who he wants to work with? And basically, the question is, or should be, do we need a budget consultant?
Well, that was my next question, because I know we might, with all these changes that are going on, I know that we do need some guidance. And I know Ms. McCall has been, I guess she keeps up with all the changes and compliances.
So if Emma has already been getting help with the budget, do we need a budget consultant?
That's what I'm saying.
But that's every so often, that's what she's saying, like, this person will be designated to this district and be able to help her more. And I know that when the auditors came in as well, they said, that Miss McCall, I mean, it would be, for her to have more staff, more people to talk to, more people to consult. As far as our budget, the board are in charge of the budget, and we need to make sure that the money is being dispersed the way that it should be, and that we're not cutting our students, and we're, just like you said, I mean, we don't want to take away from our students, and we need to make sure that the budget is looked at and the budget is 100% perfect before it goes out, because ultimately our kids are the ones that are going to have to, that's how, we don't want to affect the kids. We want to make sure that everything's good, and I think if somebody's willing, or if we can hire somebody to give her guidance and to help her and to help the board make those decisions, then it's going to ultimately be better for us, because we're the ones that have to work with them, because that's our thing.
Emma and Mr. Limon, do you need a budget consultant? Do you feel that you need someone to help you with the budget, and in any way, do you feel that in the past the budget has not been, or there's been discrepancies, or there's something, errors in the budget? I mean, we don't need to hire a consultant. I think it should be based on Mrs. McCall and Mr. Limon. They're the ones that run the school district. Emma's the one that works with the budget. We're there to support them. They bring back the reports to us on the budget, and we approve the budget. So, once again, I believe that it should be left up to Emma McCall and Mr. Limon. And I'm going to ask Mr. Limon. Mr. Limon, do you feel that we need a budget consultant?
Ms. Cruz, the answer is no. I don't feel we need a budget consultant.
I think the reason this item was brought up was because we didn't balance the budget at an appropriate time. We ended up cutting our pre-K program. We cut our officers to a certain extent. We told our staff, our entire staff, that we didn't have money to give raises. And then we turned around and said, never mind, we did find monies. And to me, maybe they're not considered errors. in everyone's eyes, but to me, those are significant discrepancies that need to be looked at, and that's why I feel it's necessary that we get a budget consultant so that everything is squared away before we get all our staff and employees in a panic, thinking that we don't have the monies, and in fact, the monies are sitting there.
I think that I had made a big fuss about the pre-K program because, again, our children were affected. We cut a program. Now our kids can't start school when they usually would be able to, which is, I talk really loud, guys. Which is my thing, is the fact that if we would have had that guidance and we would have been able to find that money ahead of time, then we wouldn't have had to have our district employees thinking that they weren't going to be able to get an incentive. We wouldn't have cut our pre-K program. We wouldn't have took off the bouncing babies. We wouldn't have done a lot of stuff that affected this district and cut a lot of people if we had that guidance. And ultimately, like you said, the budget is ours to make sure that everything is right. And I feel that the board needs guidance on the fact that also we do work with Emma. I'm not saying that we're not working with Emma, but I'm saying that we need to work with Emma. We need to, if we need guidance, we need to know also who to talk to.
But they're the people that, first of all,
But you're the one that makes the decision.
Emma's the one that works with the budget. Mr. Limon is the one that oversees Mrs. McCall. And so therefore, it is up to them.
But you
My
have no
personal opinion.
questions?
Now, another thing, let me ask you something. Did you pass a balanced budget last year?
May I answer that, please? I think there has been some confusion over fund balance versus a balanced budget. Our budget is not balanced, okay? We do have money in fund balance, but the budget still is not balanced. When we received instructions this summer, when we were working on the budget, the instructions that we received were, try your best to balance this budget. Cut where you have to cut. We want a balanced budget. We cut, and we cut, and we cut, and we still didn't get a balanced budget. Okay. The money that's there in fund balance, okay, is what's coming in and what we're using, but the budget still is not balanced. Is that correct then?
That's correct. The balance that's there is from last year. The revenues for this year are under what the projected expenditures are by about $1.8 million. So if we had not cut those programs, we would have been dipping further into the fund balance. So, you know, I mean, it's the board's decision what programs, if any, need to be cut, but we were given a directive to balance the budget. We didn't get a balanced budget. We tried, but we did not get there. So if you wanted to keep those programs open, instead of having a $1.8 million deficit, you might have had a $2.5 million deficit or more.
The fact of the matter is that we cut our kids and not at the top. You started at the bottom, and that's the problem that I had, is that you have to cut something, then cut starting at the top. Don't take it away from our kids. That's my problem. And I know that the board did not make the decisions to do that. We were talked about it, and then the next day it changed. And I'll be the first to say that, because I wouldn't want to cut kids.
But I believe we could have come back and changed that, but we didn't.
Exactly, because of the fact that it was
Okay,
always
so
turned down.
then,
That's what I'm saying.
then
If
that's
we
it,
would've
you know,
had
we
the
didn't,
guidance-
and,
Excuse me, if we would have had the guidance, and we would have been able to, then we might have been able to, because of the fact that every time I brought it up, it said, oh, it's already done, it's too late. There was always, it was too late. And that's my thing, is that as a board member, I want guidance. Because I'm not just gonna sit up here, because it's my job too, to run that budget and to make sure that it's perfect. And if you wanna sit here and say, you know what, I'm gonna designate it to Mr. Limon, then you're giving your job to Mr. Limon. So then why are you up here?
well, you know what, I don't run the district, Mr. Limon does, and Emma McCall is in charge of the budget.
We are in
Yeah.
charge of the budget. That's the thing, we are in charge.
But she manages the budget.
And she lets us
We
know.
approve the budget.
Yes, but if
And
you
we
don't
are not
agree with
supposed
it,
to be
then
involved in the
know what
everyday,
you're talking about.
everyday
Finances?
finances. It's their job, that's,
Well, that's what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying, I have to know what's going on. I have to get guidance from somebody. I'm not just gonna sit up here. If she's gonna show me something, then I wanna know exactly what's going on, because I'm not a finance person. Yes, that's Emma's job. But if I'm gonna have to be in charge of it and have to approve it, then I would think that we would
Ms.
wanna know
Aguilar,
what's going
I
on.
disagree, and that's all my point is.
Okay, well, I'm just making my point as to
Okay.
why I disagree.
Are there any more questions on the floor with regards to this item? Okay, with that said, then I move that the board retain the firm of Reina and Garza as a budget consultant to review the 2011, 2012, and 2012, 2013 budgets and budget process, and to make recommendations with a contract amount not to exceed 10,000.
Let me make, Mr. Huerta, wasn't that the firm that you had requested they resubmit their proposal because of the fact that they were auditors and they did not do budgets?
Yes, I had asked Mr. Limon, and somebody had called me, and told me that there's another firm that had came in and submitted, and I asked Mr. Limon, and he had said that it was not, then I had told him, if you
Well,
could check up on it.
at the finance committee, you said that they called you.
Yes, well,
Okay.
that's what I said.
Okay, I didn't quite hear you, so I apologize. So that's who we're hiring.
Yes.
I know that, you didn't attend the MASBA conference, but we got to go, and I know that some of the board members over there, the local news gets very dark, so good job. Cause they were talking to us about the different things that they had seen in the newspaper, and they were making, suggestions and different things like that, and I know that some of them had, these people do, both their audits and their budget and stuff, and they came highly recommended at that conference. So I know that Julian had talked to them and stuff, so, I mean, I second your motion.
Okay. Ileana Rodriguez made a motion, just for the record, and seconded by Ms. Aguilera. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 1302A-9, discussion and/or possible action concerning retention of insurance agent for IRS Section 125, District Employee Cafeteria Plan, and possible request for qualifications regarding insurance agent services for these products.
My question on this actually two items, 9 and 10, were these items brought to the finance committee?
No, they weren't.
Okay.
So
I like
thought
to
we-
hear discussion as far as the concerns or problems that we are having with our agent for the insurance plans. I don't know who.
I would too.
Okay.
Well, can I say something real quick before I end?
We're not going to allow for public participation.
My thing,
Just amongst the board.
Mr. Huerta
Yeah.
asked for her.
For Jamie.
Maybe she can answer some of the questions, but I'd like to hear discussion as far as how this came about.
I know I had brought it up to Mr. Limon that somebody had commented, first of all, that one of our employees had purchased a life insurance. And then he ended up finding out that he didn't have a life insurance. The agents never submitted the paperwork. And then I found out that we have about 50 employees of our district that are paying for cafeteria plans and are not getting services. That's why this is on the agenda.
Okay. Did you bring this concern to Mr. Limon?
Yes, I did.
you were here.
And
Yeah.
Mr. Limon said that they had a meeting.
Oh, I
with,
know I was here,
with-
but
with-
I'm
They had
asking
a
a question.
meeting with Mr. Trevino's
Okay,
staff.
now, Mr. Limon,
Well, you asked me a question.
The email was sent to you.
Mr. Limon, did you address this with Ms. Gonzalez and I guess it's Mr. Trevino, right, Bob Trevino Insurance? These concerns?
Yes, sir, I did. The very next day, when we found out about it, I called for a meeting, and Ms. Gonzalez, myself, and representatives from Bob Trevino were there, and we went over the concerns.
I believe these people have been paying for 5 months and has no insurance. So it's not
Jamie,
being deducted. So
you
they're
know,
not
when
paying.
we decided for them to be enrolled with, at what time was a timely manner for them to completely be enrolled with all of our staff? Because to my understanding, I know also that it was just last month, or so that they finished actually enrolling all of our employees.
Okay, first of all, let me clear this up. During my absence that I was not here, which was 3 months, this was during the enrollment, this happened. These employees were being seen. They were being seen and enrolled. The enrollment was way, way overdue. Enrollment was being done way after the actual date, which was 10/1. People were being seen when the policy was supposed to have been effective already. Then I came back, people were being deducted. Employees were being deducted, but there was no insurance for them. I still, as of today, have a bundle of employees out there with no insurance. And I want everyone to know that.
But I guess I would attribute that to maybe because you were out, we were.
No, it has nothing to do with me being out. It has something to do with me not overseeing it as well. But it has to do with it not being taken care of by the agent.
We're paying somebody to take care of it.
Because I had already mentioned that issue on various occasions that we'd had this issue before.
How long has this agent been in?
This agent has been in effect we're going on, 11 years?
Well, 11 years.
And I'd hate to say this, but this was the worst enrollment that I've ever seen. We're 5 months into the plan, and I've got people out there that are being deducted that have no insurance, and that are assuming they have life insurance, that are assuming they have disability insurance, and that are assuming they have accident insurance. And that's pretty scary.
Janie, can we have a list of all these employees? 'Cause
You
the
do
list
have a list, but I did not provide names
Okay, well,
because I
no,
was told
what I'm
not
seeing
to.
here is that, these people are not being, these people were not being deducted.
Right, we've got some people that were not being deducted because the applications were sent to the company, but yet when the actual deduction was uploaded from the agent, it was not uploaded to our EDP system.
Can you provide us
So
a list?
therefore,
Can you provide us an accurate list of all these employees? And my question will be, did you contact?
No, I
this
did not contact.
Agent and
Yes.
informed him of all this? And is he taking care of
Not
the
all of them
problem?
have been taken care of.
How long when did you contact him?
When did we contact? The agents have been contacted on day one, since we were first informed of it.
But when you found out about these employees?
We've been finding out about these employees on a daily basis. And Emma has been well aware of it.
Okay.
From the time they started enrollment, Lucy was on top of it. She was sending emails to the representatives saying, hey, I need this, I need this. And it was a daily basis.
Okay.
My only thing is, like people said, we need to make sure that our employees are getting the best. And if our employees are suffering, because I know I can see right now, a lot of them are wondering, hey, am I on that list? Am I insured? I need to go check, tomorrow. Because that's something scary. If somebody gets sick and somebody goes and they don't have insurance, thinking that they do, that's a big problem. There is no room for, let's see if maybe they can fix it. What if it happens again? I'm not gonna sit here and let our employees think one thing, be paying for something, and they're not getting it. Because ultimately, their health and their safety, just as much as our children, because they're the ones that are gonna have to be there for our children. They need to make sure that they are insured. They need to make sure that everything is coming to them and that they are protected just as much as our children.
The only issue that I have right now is for those employees that the company does have an application and that were not deducted. You have some that were deducted, but the company never received an application, and you have some that were never deducted, but the company does have an application. Therefore, on those, now we're going to be the bad guys because we have to collect 5 months' worth. So guess who's going to get the phone calls on payday for this month of February? Because we have to collect 5 months' worth.
How many employees are we talking about?
Right now, we're probably talking maybe 40, I'm thinking.
There's 30 here.
30 there. We've been going, I've got a list of 100, and we've just corrected 107 of them way back.
You corrected 107?
Yes, that we've done. We've got another list that we received last week. This is a brand new one that we just received, which is 80-something. And I don't think I've even showed, I think you just received that one, Corey, as well. So, like I said, this is like on a every other day basis, and it's a little scary.
Well, do you think if we were to change the agent tonight, is this gonna correct the problem? I mean, for immediate, or is it gonna make it worse than it is now? I mean, I would think it would be
To be
kinda
honest
hard
with
to-
you, I don't know what to tell you about that. I know that,
I know I spoke to Mr. O'Hanlon with regards to changing the agent midpoint right now with all these concerns that have surfaced. And Mr. O'Hanlon did speak to me, and he said that, it may be best that we maintain the agent pending the RFQs, just so that we
Well,
have that
that's what I was gonna
stability.
suggest, for us to bring it back to the finance committee meeting and kind of discuss that a little bit, maybe even bring the agents that we have now in.
Our recommendation would be that you don't, our recommendation would be that you don't leave yourself without one. That if you choose to seek other proposals or something of that nature, that you maintain the relationship while you do that, have it under consideration.
I think.
And then after you've had a look, then you make your decision after you've seen responses.
because right now at this point, because I've dealt directly with the company, and I know exactly how it is to deal with a company. And if I were the agent, I'd tell the company, you're going to have to waive all these premiums, period, if you want this business. This is the way it's supposed to work. We cannot expect these employees to pay 5 months' worth. You cannot expect an employee that has $150,000 worth of life insurance and expect him to say, you need to pay me 5 months' worth of coverage, when indeed the agent is the one that made the error. Therefore, it should be up to the agent either to pay the premium or tell the company, you need to just waive it and eat it up. You've got millions of dollars worth in life insurance from the school district already. It's not going to kill them. They want our business. That's part of it. That's business. This is just the way you do business. You want to keep the business, this is the way it works. My way of dealing with these companies direct, if I were to take care of these accounts directly, I would call these companies direct and specify these names and tell them, you know what, I've got 50 employees right here. I want every single one of them to be waived, and I want their coverage effective immediately, and that's all there is to it.
Well, have you,
But I'm not the agent, and I don't have that authority at this
have you
point.
approached him with that question?
Excuse me?
Have you approached the agent with that question?
No, I have not opposed the agent because I'm not the agent.
The fact
And
of the matter is, though,
No,
we
but
shouldn't have
you-
to be addressing.
they should know this.
I'm asking her a question, June.
Well, I'm just saying, they should know this.
I-
it's a question that shouldn't have
I
to be.
believe they already had a meeting.
We've had a meeting with Corey, and I know she spoke to UNEM, and they were supposed to waive the coverage on one employee, but we've been waiting for it for 2 weeks, and I still don't have an answer.
I'd like to bring up one other issue we've dealt with. In the past, we've had an agent that would come in and we would have it electronically uploaded to our system. We're having to do a lot of manual work when, in this day and age, everything should be virtually uploaded electronically. And it takes a lot of time and it's less accurate.
Well,
because of
actually,
the
we
time
would see the
involved.
agent. I don't know where Bob is. I've not seen Bob here at all. But before, we've had our agents here, and we've always had Bill Greer, we've always had Doug Banks here, and they've helped us directly. I've not seen Bob here, period, to help us with these
This
issues.
situation, I think I make a motion to move that the district issues for RFQs for agent of service for RS service at 125 criteria plan.
I second that.
I
I'm not
have
gonna let any more district employees go without insurance.
I have one more comment here. It just kind of surprises me that, we've had him for 11 years, And all of a sudden, we're experiencing all these big problems, you know.
It's not
And
all of a
that,
sudden,
and that's why,
in the past.
no, and that's what I'm saying, within 11 years that she said we've been dealing with this agent, and I haven't heard of major problems.
We've been
Like,
hearing of problems.
but anyhow, that's fine, there's a motion on the floor, we can vote. But
Well, I
I-
second the motion because I've heard the problems for the past years that I've been here. You know, but because of the fact that I'm not gonna let any of our employees be worried about whether or not they're
And
sick.
I'm not trying to do that, Ms. Aguilera.
I'm not saying you are,
Okay,
I'm
so-
saying I'm not gonna. So,
I have-
his motion, I second.
I have a motion on the floor to approve item 1302A-9, and that's concerning the retention of the insurance agent for IRS Section 125 District Employee Cafeteria Plan and request for qualifications regarding insurance agent services for these products. Motion made by Mr. Huerta, seconded by Aguilera. Ms. Aguilera, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We also had a question on item 1302A-10, discussion and/or possible action concerning retention of insurance agent for district employee insurance plan and possible request for qualifications regarding the insurance agent services for this coverage.
I believe the questions were added together. So I'm gonna move that the district issue RFQs for the insurance agent service for the employee health insurance plan because they're both tied together and the issues still stand. They're still for both? So I make that motion.
Motion to approve item 1302A-10 made by Ms. Aguilera, seconded by Mr. Huerta. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Which brings us to our final item in question, item 1302A-17, discussion and/or possible action to amend district policy CH local. And I had a question on that one, or more like a comment. CH local deals particularly with the superintendent's authority, his purchasing power, and right now it's currently set at $25,000. And I am asking that the board consider bringing that to $5,000, only because there have been concerns with the budget, and because as a board, I feel that we should be more frugal with our expenditures and monitor that more closely. I would like to ask that the board consider that.
I move that the district policy PH logo lower the superintendent's purchase authority from $25,000 to $5,000.
We have a motion on the floor to approve item 1302A-17. Motion made by Mr. Huerta, seconded by Ms. Aguilera. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Madam President, I had a question. There is an outstanding contract that's been awarded but hasn't been executed with Mr. Hillier in the amount of, Mr. Superintendent?
There's $10,000. I no longer have the authority to approve that, so Mr. Hillier's contract is in limbo.
Would it be the board's intent, we're trying to determine the board's intent with respect to that contract in light of this motion?
My recommendation would be that because that contract was drafted prior to this approval of this item, that we go ahead and honor Mr. Limon's authority to go ahead and consent to that contract.
Just be aware, it hasn't been signed yet, okay?
Will the board authorize the authority for him to go ahead and sign the contract with Mr. Hillier?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. O'Hanlon. Moving on to item number 9, closed meeting, discussion under the authority of the Texas Government Code 551.071 for the purpose of a private consultation with the board's attorney on any or all subjects or matters authorized by law. A, review of HCA Medical Clinic audit payment dispute. B, discussion and possible action to approve settlement agreement to TEA Special Education Docket Number 316-SE-0712. 551.074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. A, superintendent's summative evaluation and possible action on superintendent's contract. B, report on personnel. C, employment of contract personnel, resignation and retirement. D, review of business manager's performance. E, review of athletic director's performance. The time is now 8:34 and we are in executive. The time is 11:02 and we are reconvening an open meeting from executive. Item A, discussion and possible action to approve settlement agreement to TEA Special Education Docket Number 316-SE-0712. And following discussion in executive, I move that the board accept the settlement of the RGV versus San Benito CISD Special Education on the terms discussed in closed meeting with the additional provision that the superintendent can accept minor changes in the agreement so long as they do not add to the total cost.
Second.
Motion made by Ileana Rodriguez, seconded by Mr. Huerta. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Item B, superintendent summative evaluation and possible action on superintendent's contract. No action?
No action, be postponed the next month.
No action, and it will be postponed until the next board meeting. Item C, employment of contract personnel, resignation, and retirement.
Madam President, I ask that the board, on the recommendation, that we hire the employees that were discussed in executive session, and also the resignation that was discussed in executive session.
Everyone's in agreement?
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain my vote because I know one of the employees, so I'm gonna abstain my vote.
The board, with the exception of Ms. June Aguilera, accepts Mr. Limon's recommendation for the employment of contract personnel, resignation, and retirement.
There has to be a motion.
I need to vote. We need to vote.
I'll make the motion. Seconded by, motion made by Ileana Rodriguez, seconded by Mr. Leal. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, the time is now 11:04 and we are adjourned.